one thing that we are seeing, and I feel I can speak safely for my demographic as an aging Pākehā man, that we see a lot of older white men submitting in support of the bill. And I wonder if that sort of shows up the number of us who are victims of a poor education system that failed to teach us our history, the history of colonization, our constitutional frameworks, rights frameworks, and the nature of how privilege functions in reality in this country. This bill will be killed. I mean, it's definitely on the way out, but there are a suite of other legislation that are similarly harmful. It sort of acts as a smokescreen to other things that undermine te tiriti and attack Māori self-determination that we as a nation do not want to tolerate this sort of divisive intent in legislation like this. The current government's war on nature is sort of aligned with the current attacks on te tiriti. Colonization was the destruction of nature, nowhere more starkly seen than in the Waikato, and rivers being a major suffer under that. This might be the underlying objective of the bill, to remove te tiriti as a barrier to the exploitation of nature, such as mining. There's a wider risk that the bill could accelerate the extraction and export of raw natural resources without proper consideration of treaty obligations and environmental effects. The bill displays a narrow focus on property rights, but property rights tend to treat ecosystems and habitats as commodities which can be understood and treated in purely economic terms. They're instrumental rights to use and exclude others, and they generally treat the natural world merely as a collection of commodities to be used, bought, and sold. The history in Taranaki in particular, and the sort of the two-facedness of the return of the tupuna maunga at the same time as all this anti-Māori, anti-treaty legislation has been put through the Parliament. It reminds me of a quote from a song that Ruakere Hond told us: "The winds of war still blow through our minds," and the ongoing legacy of attempted assimilation, of raupatu, of theft, and that this feels like another instance of that to tangata whenua Māori. What is the harm that is being done to that idea of trust between Māori and the Crown by this legislation and other laws being passed by this government? To target health approaches and disability approaches based on known ethnic disparities, if this legislation undermines your ability to do that targeted, to go on this journey of truly understanding our history, understanding the manaakitanga and the hosting nature of tangata whenua Māori, and how much of a privilege it is and a joy it is to be from Aotearoa, New Zealand, as a non-Māori New Zealander, and how that journey is a joyous one to go on, to encourage other tangata tiriti to go on it.